Do not run Paxel by Y Combinator. It turns your AI coding chats into a report for YC. If you already ran it on a real startup, a confidential project, a prompt system, an eval project, or anything patentable, assume sensitive data left your control. This is not a normal malware warning. I'm not saying the inspected Paxel client was secretly uploading your whole source tree. The risk is more subtle than that. And for AI native founders, it may be more serious. The key issue is what Paxel analyzes, your AI coding transcript. At first, that sounds harmless and almost like a coding personality quiz. The tool looks at your Claude, your Codex, and your cursor sessions, then tells you how you build with AI. But if you are building with AI every day, your transcript is not just a chat log, it is your working notebook. It is closer to a lab notebook than a receipt. It can show the first version of the idea. It can show why you think the market exists. It can show what you asked the agent to build first, what you rejected, what you plan to build next, and how you explain the product when no one else is watching. That would be serious even if only a few people had run it. But Paxel did not stay small. Paxel launched on Friday, June 5th. By Sunday, June 7th, Paxel's own public page said nearly 500,000 sessions had already been uploaded and analyzed. That is one weekend. Not 500,000 lines of code, 500,000 AI coding sessions. That distinction matters because a session can contain the thought process behind a project. If that is what happened in the first weekend, what does a full week look like? I have never seen this much intellectual property exposed before people understood what they were sharing. And I have never seen it happen while users were being told their code stayed local. I am choosing those words carefully. I am not making a legal finding in this video, but when a tool can collect transcript-derived founder intelligence at that scale in a single weekend, people need to stop and understand what just happened. The transcript is the asset. Most people miss that. For people who barely use AI, Paxel is probably less useful. It might tell them a few things about prompt style or coding habits, but there's not much to analyze. For heavy AI users, that report can look more valuable because the transcript contains more of the actual building process. But that is exactly why it becomes more dangerous. That is the trap. The report is useful for the same reason the upload is sensitive. It can describe what you are building, why it matters, and where it is going. Think about a founder using AI to build an unreleased product. They ask the agent to sketch out the architecture. Then they ask it to compare competitors. Then ask for a roadmap, a pricing model, a YC application draft, a launch plan, and a better onboarding flow. None of that is just code. At that point, the transcript is carrying the blueprint, the margin notes, and the launch plan. That is the company. Take a prompt native project. Maybe the core asset is a system prompt, a skill file, an eval suite, or an agent workflow. If those files get pasted into a chat for testing, Paxel may see them as transcript content, not as source files. So a statement like your source code never leaves your machine can be technically true and still miss the real risk. It is like saying the house never moved while the blueprint and the builder's notes went somewhere else. The code may stay local, the thinking may not. Here's what my audit found. In the upload path I inspected, Paxel appeared to process raw repository files locally. I did not see raw source files or raw transcript files directly posted as the report uploaded to YC. That part matters. This is not a claim that Paxel simply uploads your whole repo. But the client still sends transcript-derived prompts through YC's LLM proxy for cloud analysis. The analysis is not just your local Codex, Claude, or Cursor install looking at its own logs. The client reads save sessions, creates prompts from them, sends those prompts through YC's cloud system, gets model responses back, turns that into a report, and uploads it to YC. That upload is smaller than raw transcripts, but it is not harmless. It can contain things like session summaries, first prompts, important decisions, file paths, commands, get details, author information, and diagnostic data. Even without raw code, Paxel can send a compressed profile of how you work, what files matter, what decisions were made, what started the work, and what the AI thought happened. For an AI native startup, that can reveal the product direction. There is also a logging issue. In my audit, I found that Paxel's cloud analysis logs can include the prompts, the responses sent through the system, plus metadata about the calls. Some content may have deletion windows, other metadata can remain longer. So the important question is not, did raw transcripts upload? The better question is, what derived content left your machine? And the answer is enough to matter. Plan files show why this matters. Paxel excludes plan files from the upload report. That sounds reassuring. But if a plan was created or edited through that AI chat, the plan text can still be included in prompts sent for scoring. So the final report may exclude the file, while the cloud analysis path still carries the contents. For a founder, that can be the most sensitive thing in the project. It may say what the product is, what the next 3 months look like, what the wedge is, and what has not been launched yet. The next issue is consent. The public flow asks you to paste a command into your terminal. Technically, it is the kind of install flow people describe as curl pipe bash. When upload is configured, the client generates the report and sends it to YC. I did not find a normal user-facing step where it stops and says, here is the exact report we are about to upload. Review it, approve it. That design is a major problem. If Paxel only wanted to give builders insight into their own coding habits, it could run locally. It could be a script, an agent skill, or a local HTML page. If they wanted optional sharing, they could write the exact upload to a file and give the user a manual upload button. That would still have risk, but at least the user could inspect the thing being shared. The current flow asks you to trust the upload before you can review the result. In one successful run inspected afterward, I did not find a normal saved copy of the exact upload. The reviewable copy was not preserved after the upload finished. That makes after-the-fact auditing much harder. Then there is the startup school angle. Paxel tells users that attaching a Paxel token can boost startup school chances. That changes everything. A founder is no longer just choosing to run a private report tool. They are being nudged to submit transcript-derived evidence of how they build to an organization that evaluates, funds, studies, and advises startups. I should say this plainly. I was thinking about applying to Y Combinator with a project I care about. Publishing this may make that harder. Maybe they will not want to talk to me after this. But that is not a good enough reason to stay quiet. Founders deserve to understand what this tool collects before they run it. I am not claiming YC is stealing companies. I am saying the design creates structural risk. It concentrates sensitive founder data, it creates pressure to share that data, and the legal terms are broad enough that I would not treat this like a confidential invention disclosure. Paxel inputs are treated as user content under incorporated YC terms. Those terms include broad rights to store, modify, and use user content for YC-related purposes. I would not want my unreleased startup thesis, invention notes, prompt IP, or roadmap treated that way. Here's the risk model. The more central AI is to your work, the more useful Paxel may look. But that also means the transcript is more likely to contain the thing you cannot afford to share. If you use AI for small coding help, the risk is lower, but not zero. When AI did most of the coding, the risk is high because the transcript can show architecture, implementation strategy, and product decisions. When the chat includes business strategy, roadmap, fundraising, customer research, or product direction, the risk becomes very high because now the transcript can describe the company itself. If the transcript contains your invention, your trade secret, or the thing that makes your company special, do not run Paxel on it. Not on the repo, not on that machine. The report is not worth it. A fund score is not worth your IP. An archetype is not worth your roadmap. A product insight is not worth your invention record. My recommendation is direct. Do not run Y Combinator's Paxel. Keep it away from confidential AI native projects and from any repo where prompts, skills, or evals are part of the product. Do not attach a Paxel token to an application unless you fully intend to share this kind of data. If you already ran it, ask YC to delete your Paxel data to the maximum extent possible. That means generated reports, profile data, uploads, cloud analysis logs, and related metadata. And YC should take the current uploader down, stop collecting uploads, and delete the Paxel data it has already collected to the maximum extent possible. If they wanted to provide insight into coding habits, ship a local-only version. No automatic upload, no curl pipe bash for sensitive transcripts, no startup school pressure, no hidden trust us step after the data is already gone. If you think there is a safe use case for Paxel, leave it in the comments. After this audit, I do not see one. The bottom line is simple. Paxel's danger is not mainly that it steals source code. It is that it analyzes and exports the record of how AI native founders think. And for modern AI built companies, that record may be the company.